In the previous video, we finished the story of Ögedei. If you haven't watched the video about Ögedei, please click the link to enjoy it. Next, we will tell the story of Ögedei. The story is divided into 3 stages. The first stage is about Ögedei's early experiences up to becoming the crown prince. The second stage is about Ögedei's implementation of new policies and raising an army to destroy the Jin and attack the Song after his accession. The third stage is about Ögedei launching the second Western expedition, governing the Central Plains region. And the story of his later years, exciting content, is about to unfold, so please stay tuned. Ögedei grew up in an era of war and strife, and his youth was filled with heroic struggles from a young age. He learned how to navigate the Mongolian steppes, how to face enemies and war. These experiences tempered his resolute character and accustomed him to the hardships of the battlefield. As a young man, Ögedei followed his great father, Temujin, in waging wars in all directions. He witnessed the growth of the Mongol Empire and the transformation of their family, from a weak tribe to an empire ruling the entire Great Steppe. Throughout this long process, Ögedei not only demonstrated his courage and wisdom, but also became a close family member to his brothers. On the grassland, Ögedei galloped on horseback, with arrows dancing like lightning in his hands after every battle. He always learned from the experience, making himself even stronger on the battlefield. His courage and wisdom allowed him to achieve great feats in battle, earning the respect and trust of his subordinates. In 1203, amidst the smoke of war on the battlefield of Kurlan River, against the Karat tribe led by Togrul, Temujin's army clashed head-on with Togrul's forces. In this war shrouded in gunpowder smoke, the 13-year-old Ögedei fought alongside his father Temujin, striving to bring glory to their family. At that time, Togrul's army was large and powerful, and the battle was extremely fierce. On this battlefield filled with raging flames, Ögedei fearlessly plunged into the fight, with arrows in his hands shooting like lightning. However, during the intense battle, an enemy arrow struck Ögedei's neck, staining his battle robe red with blood. Seeing Ögedei wounded, his loyal general, Barakulla, immediately bandaged his neck to save his life. Nevertheless, Ögedei did not stop fighting. He gritted his teeth and continued to fight with his injuries. His bravery inspired his fellow soldiers, and both Barakulla and Subyatohi joined the battle, protecting Ögedei. As the pressure on the enemy increased, Ögedei, Barakulla, and Subyatohi swiftly cut a bloody path through the enemy lines. They were fearless and unstoppable, facing the enemy's onslaught. After overcoming numerous obstacles, they finally broke through the enemy's encirclement and reunited with Temujin. In the harsh winter of 1204, Temujin led the Mongol army to finally defeat the Naiman tribe and began to attack the Merkit tribe in the north. The tribes of Mengutima, Tuta, and Sharon all surrendered one after another. During the Mongol army's sweep, Temujin accidentally discovered a beautiful captive woman. After questioning, he learned that this beautiful woman was the wife of Tuta's son, Kuti, named Naimanzin Torajin. Temujin decided to bestow this beautiful woman upon Ögedei and included her in his harem. Ögedei was very loving towards Torajin, and later Torajin gave birth to a son for him, named Gayak. Their family life was happy and fulfilling. Meanwhile, Genghis Khan and his 4 sons with board participated in the construction of the empire. Genghis Khan assigned different responsibilities according to their respective talents and characteristics. Joki was in charge of hunting. Ögedei was responsible for laws and regulations. Ögedei took care of court affairs, and Tolui commanded the army. They all made great contributions to the prosperity and stability of the Mongol Empire. Among all his children, Genghis Khan favored his youngest son Tolui, who had remarkable military achievements. However, as the empire gradually grew, Genghis Khan realized that the future of the empire needed a successor with political wisdom, not just a military commander. Ögedei was resourceful and had comprehensive governance skills, so Genghis Khan wisely chose him as the successor. In the spring of 1219, heavy dark clouds rolled over the Mongolian steppes, symbolizing Genghis Khan's ambitious plans. That year, Genghis Khan decided to launch a westward expedition to conquer more lands. Before setting out, he said goodbye to all his queens, but took only Yuan Taizong with him, as he bid farewell to his queens. Yuan Taizong tearfully brought up the issue of succession to Genghis Khan with deep concern. She said, "Among the princes, there are 4 legitimate sons, after your long and prosperous reign. Who should inherit the throne?" Her words revealed her worry for the future of the country, prompting Genghis Khan to ponder. Genghis Khan replied with emotion, "Although a woman, Yuan's words are correct, whether it is my brothers, grandchildren, or Bort and Macaulay. No one has ever made such a suggestion. On this westward expedition, I will cross mountains and rivers, and conquer numerous countries. There is no one who lives forever. And it is time to determine my successor," and so Genghis Khan decided to confirm the successor immediately, at a grand ceremony. Genghis Khan gathered his sons and younger brothers, and after a passionate discussion, they ultimately chose Ögedei as the successor. Ögedei was intelligent and resourceful from a young age, possessing the vision and courage of Genghis Khan, and was seen by his father as the hope for the country's future. After confirming the successor, the Mongol army embarked on its journey. They were divided into 4 groups. Ögedei and Ögedei were in charge of attacking the Khwarezm. Joki led the attack along the Ögedei River to conquer the region. Ögedei Nyan headed south to capture the regions of Banu, coast, and others, while Genghis Khan and Tolui crossed the desert to directly attack Bukhara. As earth-shattering campaign was about to unfold, the people of the Mongol Empire were filled with anticipation, praying to the gods to bless their king and army with invincibility and a triumphant return. The Mongol army led by Ögedei and Ögedei swept through Khwarezm like a storm, showcasing the unstoppable power of the Mongol cavalry. Meanwhile, Joki's forces advanced along the Ögedei River, conquering the rich land with ease. Ögedei Nyan's army also targeted the south, achieving consecutive victories and conquering the regions of Banu, coast, and others. Genghis Khan and Tolu personally led the main force, crossing the vast desert, bringing the unstoppable flames of war to the land of Bukhara. Under the powerful offensive of the Mongol Empire, the Bukhara nation fell into panic and chaos. However, the inhabitants of this land were not weak. They bravely faced the challenge of the Mongol army and engaged in fierce battles. Ögedei and Ögedei were ordered to lead the army to attack Khwarezm, faced with the solid city defense and abundant food reserves. The Mongol army advanced courageously in the siege warfare, although the enemy's defense was extremely tenacious. Ögedei and Ögedei commanded their troops wisely, remaining fearless and always maintaining high morale. After several months of offense and defense, the food supplies in the city were depleted, and there was no hope for reinforcements. Some of the enemy troops tried to escape under the cover of night, but they were captured by the Mongol army. Ögedei and Ögedei were delighted, and ordered their troops to continue their fierce attack, eventually breaking through the city walls of Khwarezm. The governor of the city, carrying the hatred for the massacre of the Mongol trade caravan, had little hope of escape. Under the dire circumstances, he led the remaining troops in a desperate resistance, engaging in bloody street fighting. However, the situation became increasingly unfavorable for them, and they eventually retreated to the inner fortress, holding out against the Mongol army for another month. The soldiers inside the city were starving and exhausted. Half of them died of hunger, while the other half perished in battle. The remaining 2 soldiers even climbed onto the roof, removed the tiles, and threw them at the Mongol army. Ögedei and Ögedei rode into the inner fortress, trapping the governor with no way out. At the critical moment of life and death, the governor displayed astonishing vitality and struggled desperately. However, he was unable to escape the grip of fate and was eventually shot down by Mongol soldiers, captured, and imprisoned. In the end, the governor was escorted to Genghis Khan's camp in Samarkand, where molten silver was poured into his mouth and ears as punishment for his greed. After the fall of Khwarezm, the Mongol soldiers indulged themselves in slaughter and plunder. They showed no mercy to the young, old, or infirm, leaving innocent civilians to die. The city's buildings were burned, wealth was looted, and Khwarezm eventually turned into ruins. Ögedei and Chagatai performed exceptionally well in this battle, displaying the valor and wisdom of Mongol generals. However, they also felt deep sorrow for the pain and destruction brought by the war. That was difficult to let go. Nevertheless, this was the brutal reality of war, and they had no choice but to accept it. In the summer of 1220, Genghis Khan stationed his army near Samarkand and Nalshop, where golden wheat fields shimmered in the sunlight. The picturesque landscape prompted Genghis Khan to decide to rest and recuperate his troops here, preparing for the next phase of the invasion. As time went by, the summer gradually faded, and the season of golden autumn arrived. At this time, the horses on the grasslands were strong and glossy, making it an excellent time to set out on a campaign. Genghis Khan decided that it was time to send Ögedei and Chagatai to lead the right-wing army to conquer the capital of the Khwarezmian Empire, Urgench. Meanwhile, Genghis Khan also ordered Joki, his trusted eldest son, to lead the main force southward from the camp to join forces with Ögedei and Chagatai as a military commander of the Mongol Empire. Joki was not only brave and skilled in battle, but also possessed considerable tactical acumen, playing a vital supporting role in Genghis Khan's plans. Riding at full speed, Ögedei and Chagatai fully utilized the advantages of the Mongol cavalry. The right-wing army they led moved swiftly and maintained high morale. Before long, Ögedei, Chagatai, and Joki finally led their troops to the gates of Urgench. The city spanned both sides of Termudaya River, with a majestic bridge connecting the two banks as the city's lifeline. The 3,000-strong Mongol force decided to first seize the bridge, to weaken the power of the defending army within the city. However, this operation resulted in a total defeat, with the entire force annihilated by the defenders. This victory boosted the morale of the defending army in Urgench, and they successfully repelled subsequent Mongol attacks. Joki realized that this city would become part of his territory, and he did not want this prosperous city to suffer severe damage as a result. He decided to change tactics and attempt a soft attack on the city. However, this decision caused Chagatai's dissatisfaction, leading to a fierce argument between the two and resulting in discord among the Mongol siblings and conflicting orders. After several months of unsuccessful attacks, the Mongol army still couldn't break through Urgench. Genghis Khan, who was far away in Afghanistan, decided to appoint Ögedei as the supreme commander to unify the command of the army. Ögedei immediately set about mediating the relationship between the brothers, strictly rectifying military discipline and launching an all-out offensive. Under Ögedei's command, the Mongol army finally broke through the gates of Urgench. They set houses ablaze with petroleum, and smoke enveloped the entire city. However, every time the Mongol army occupied a district, they encountered fierce resistance from the city's inhabitants. The fires spread from one street to another, and from one household to another amidst the fierce battle. Women and children also joined the fight, contesting every inch of land. 9 days of intense fighting passed, and the entire city of Urgench was shrouded in smoke, with broken tiles and ruined walls everywhere. The fires, like a spreading plague, mercilessly consumed the once prosperous city. The citizens fought to the death, but under the fierce onslaught of the Mongol army, they ultimately could not resist the torrent. After 9 days of fighting, only 3 districts in Urgench remained unoccupied. The defending army was exhausted and could no longer hold on. Faced with the immense pressure of the Mongol army, the defenders finally proposed surrender. Ögedei and Chagatai stood on the ruins of the city, gazing at the remaining 3 districts, filled with mixed emotions. They had exhausted all their efforts and finally conquered the city, expanding the territory of the Mongol Empire. However, they also witnessed the cruelty of war and the countless innocent lives that perished on this scorched land. After the Battle of Urgench, the Mongol army carried out a ruthless and thorough purge of the inhabitants. The people inside the city were driven out, and 100,000 artisans were sent to the distant east. The remaining people were allocated to various armies. Apart from young women and children being taken as slaves, everyone else was massacred in order to completely destroy the city. The Mongol army even decided to breach the dams of Ögedei River, letting the floodwaters engulf the entire city. Those who were hiding in the city were all drowned. After this battle, only Aru and Singh remained in Urgench. After the battle, Ögedei and Chagatai each led their troops to join Genghis Khan, who had already conquered the fortresses of Taraz, and together they marched towards Ghazni. The Khwarezmian king Jalal ad-Din panicked and abandoned the city, retreating to the Indus River, preparing to cross into India. However, the swift actions of the Mongol army allowed them to occupy Ghazni without any resistance, and pursued Jalal ad-Din to the banks of the Indus. Due to a shortage of boats, Jalal ad-Din had not yet crossed the river when Genghis Khan and Ögedei launched a fierce attack. In this battle, Jalal ad-Din's army was completely defeated, and he was forced to flee to India with only a little over 4,000 remaining soldiers. In the spring of 1224, Genghis Khan led his army to the banks of the Ögedei River. Ögedei and Chagatai happened to be hunting near Nukit and rushed to join their father for a joint hunt. By the spring of 1225, Ögedei returned to the Mongolian homeland with Genghis Khan, concluding this historic 7-year expedition. In the next episode, we will share the story of Ögedei's ascension to the throne, the implementation of new policies, and the launching of military campaigns to conquer the Jin and Song dynasties. Please look forward to the content of the next episode. If you like this story, please help me by subscribing and sharing. Thank you.